Okay, so my next question is on infrastructure. So reliable, connected, and low-cost infrastructure, such as electricity, water, transportation, and broadband, enable prosperity and growth. What do you believe is the #1 infrastructure need in your district or region, and how do you intend to address it? So I guess that's for Mr. Yancey.
Okay, well, first things first, we have to continue to fulfill our transportation needs in regards to the widening of 64 to Richmond. And we have to continue to move forward on the New Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. And then, of course, there are other projects that are going to be built in this area through 2040. So we have to continue to push and push and push. And I'm a member of the Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission, which means your tax dollars, this is how we pay for it. And so when we sign off on something, this is what we do. So we have to continue to look for new ways and new opportunities to get people around. On infrastructure, you spoke about energy. This is something that I think everybody in this room is concerned about. Reliable energy. If you're at the shipyard, you need a consistent, predictable, and stable surge to be able to get the electricity to build those magnificent ships. But I think we also are concerned about opportunities for our environment and what can we do to mitigate that. I've introduced legislation on solar. I've introduced legislation on wind. I've gotten awards for what I've done to be able to get Dominion power to be more agreeable for megawatts, kilowatts used to help alternative energy for people that we represent in our communities. But when you talk about infrastructure, all these things are important for our community, but we are also that beacon for the Commonwealth for these opportunities. So again, as I said earlier before, when you're looking at some of these states, Georgia, Mississippi, they're investing an enormous amount of money into their infrastructure to attract businesses, to attract opportunities, and to have a consistent, predictable, and consistent, happy quality of life for the people that live there. So certainly energy, certainly green energy, obviously road transportation, and then obviously we want to finish off making the Port of Virginia the deepest on the East Coast so that we can also have those opportunities here and not lose out to Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Simons, 2 minutes.
So I would have to say, first off, school construction is the most important infrastructure issue for me in Newport News and really across Virginia. And I'm really looking forward to working across party lines to find a solution to these crumbling schools across our state. I am very concerned because at this point there is no plan, none, up in Richmond to rebuild schools, and the average age of our school across the state is over 50 years old. But in terms of energy, I think we're missing the boat on green power in Virginia. We are letting states like North Carolina eat our lunch. And the reason is that we've got too many politicians up in Richmond beholding to Dominion power and not allowing the innovation to come out from small businesses and small-scale solar projects. We need to deregulate our Dominion energy monopoly. We need to change the renewable energy portfolio standards in Virginia to require that power, alternative energy power, be generated in Virginia. Because right now, Dominion is allowed to have green energy and it comes from other states. In order to take advantage of wonderful opportunities like offshore wind, we have to have a predictable energy market right here in Virginia. That means standing up to Virginia Power and requiring that they consume alternative energy that could be produced with offshore wind. If we can get offshore wind off the ground, it could create 10,000 jobs across Virginia. I just had a conversation with the head of the Virginia Shipbuilding Association. They are really excited about offshore wind because it would really help their industry.
Thank you, Ms. Simons.
Ms. Simons, can you take 30 more seconds and just talk about the potential for Jefferson Lab to land the electron-ion collider?
I am really excited about that.
And maybe what the state, what the General Assembly can do to help us land that project.
You know, I am very supportive of whatever financial contribution the state of Virginia needs in order to make that happen. It would bring thousands of well-paying jobs to Newport News. I think we need, instead of looking at big new housing developments with McMansions, I think the city of Newport News could look at redevelopment tax credits. We have got a lot of beautiful pieces of land where scientists from Jefferson Labs could rebuild and redevelop housing. So I'm all in and really excited to work on that project.
Thank you, Mr. Yancey.
Well, you're welcome for my hard work, because I did deliver the money for Jefferson Labs to be able to compete with New York. And you're also welcome for my plan that I worked on this year with the school superintendent for a plan for new construction in schools in Newport News. And, hold a second, because you're welcome for one more thing. You ready? The solar and maritime bills for wind power, working with the different companies to be able to use Newport News Maritime as a facility to be able to put these maritime opportunities for wind power out in the Chesapeake Bay. And one more thing, you talked about small businesses. I've worked with your schools, our schools, Newport News schools, and our local small businesses to be able to create a pipeline of talent to go into this line of work.
Thank you for that. Now, time has flown by, and we're